Good morning, Bears. Happy Thursday, Friday. Friday, folks, this is a flex day for you. Thursday, folks, you're going to work on the same assignment as we will work on for the flex day. Today, we'll learn about seismic waves so that I can locate the epicenter of an earthquake. I will know I've got it when my circles intersect at one point, and I can use what I've learned to answer 3 conclusion questions. Your bell work for the day is to add the following vocab terms to your fossils and internal earth processes notes document in the vocab section. You are adding epicenter, focus, magnitude, seismic wave, and triangulation. All of these words are about earthquake concepts, so when you look up the definition, please be careful and make sure that you include earthquake epicenter definition, earthquake focus definition. Otherwise, you're going to get a definition for focus that doesn't really apply to earthquakes specifically. Once you finish your vocab, your next move is to go ahead and add these earthquake notes to your notes document. So if you scroll up in your notes document, after we talked about stresses, faults, and boundaries, we have a next section, earthquakes. It's a sudden release of energy when 2 plates meet or slip past each other. There are different parts of an earthquake. There's the focus, that's where the first motion occurs, deep within the earth. The epicenter is directly above the focus, and that's on the surface. So a lot of times they will say the epicenter is located in a certain city. That's where they first felt the earthquake, on the surface of the earth. Magnitude measures the size of an earthquake, and it's measured on a scale called the Richter scale, and it's an intensity of 1 to 10. Earthquake waves are called seismic waves. They carry energy from earthquake through the earth. And locating an earthquake is a process that scientists will use a tool called a seismograph. It's an instrument that measures and records details of the earthquake. It looks like a lie detector test, if you've seen those on different TV shows or whatever. And the process of locating the epicenter of an earthquake is called triangulation, and it uses information from 3 recording stations to find the epicenter. They will draw 3 circles on a map, and wherever the 3 circles overlap is the epicenter. There are 3 kinds of earthquake waves. We have P waves. P stands for primary. Those are the first to arrive. They're mainly compressional waves, meaning the ground is smushing from side to side, sort of, and they travel really fast. Then we have S waves. Those are secondary waves. They're the second to arrive. They're about half as fast as P waves, and they happen by deforming the earth by shearing. So shearing is the process of the earth moving in parallel but opposite directions. And then the other kind of wave we have is something called an L wave. Those are surface waves, and the material deforms sideways and sometimes returns to its original position more or less. Some earthquakes are more drastic than others. They're more dramatic, and then those ones will cause more damage. Okay, those are your notes for the day that you're adding, so go ahead and open up that picture and get them typed in. Your assignment is to work on the locating the epicenter Google Doc, and we're going to be using an earthquake simulator that looks like this. You'll notice on the doc that there is a screencast for instructions. Once again, this assignment was designed back in lockdown, so the screencast is designed to answer questions that you may have before you get started. So you are required to watch that first before you begin filling out your document. You're going to be filling out these tables based on information that you notice. So we're going to click on one of them, and we see that an earthquake has occurred. You have 3 different seismograms that have happened that have been recorded by a seismograph. You see how it looks like a lie detector test or a heart rate monitor. So first we would have our P waves, and then we would have our secondary waves. We can see right here these tiny little letters P and S. Okay, earthquake is felt at several locations. We would click next. Determine the SP interval time for each seismogram. So based on the video, you're going to be looking at the recording of the first primary wave and the first secondary wave, and you would type in the appropriate value. Actually, sorry, you would select the appropriate value from down here, however long you think it took between the primary waves and the secondary waves, and recording all of that information on your tables. Once again, make sure you watch this screencast for instructions. And that is it for the day. Let me run that down again. Vocab, notes, locating the epicenter assignment, using the simulator. Please let me know if you run into any problems, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.